Welcome to Spotlight. I'm Liz Waid.
And I'm Colin Lowther. Spotlight uses a special English method of broadcasting. It is easier for people to understand no matter where in the world they live.
My name is Calvin C. Johnson, Jr. I spent almost 17 years in prison. It was for a crime that I was completely innocent of. I am so thankful for the Innocence Project and for my freedom now. It is the beginning of a new beginning.
Calvin Johnson lives in the United States. Police put him in prison in 1983. He was accused of beating two women and forcing them to have sex. These were terrible crimes. But Johnson was innocent. Victims of the crime falsely identified Johnson. Then, after 17 years in prison, Johnson was set free. Johnson told the Associated Press,
I had faith that in some way, someday, the truth would come out, and I kept the faith.
Johnson was freed from prison because of the Innocence Project. This organization proved to the courts that Johnson was innocent. The Innocence Project has helped set free 311 innocent people. People like Calvin Johnson. Today's spotlight is on the Innocence Project.
The Innocence Project is a legal organization. They have a simple goal: to help prisoners who could be innocent. To do this, they use DNA evidence. DNA is a complex chemical molecule. All of the cells in the human body contain DNA. Every person has a different DNA structure, and every part of the body contains this individual DNA structure. Body fluids such as blood, saliva, semen, and sweat have DNA in them. There is also DNA in people's hair and skin.
Criminals often leave DNA at a crime in the form of body fluids, hair, or pieces of skin. Police can collect these biological materials. Crime scientists test the DNA. Then they can use these materials to match the criminal to the crime.
The Innocence Project only works with cases that include biological material. The science of DNA testing is developing very quickly, and as it develops, the Innocence Project can look at more and more cases. The Innocence Project is currently processing 10,000 cases, and they receive 3,500 new requests for help every year.
If DNA evidence is present, the Innocence Project can try to help. They collect and test the biological evidence. The results of this test go into a computer. If the convicted person is truly innocent, his DNA will be different than the material from the crime. In this way, he can prove he is not guilty. The court will declare him innocent of the crime and set him free from prison.
Over 2 million people are in prison in the United States. Like other places around the world, the legal system makes mistakes. Every country has problems with corruption. There are also many problems with bad police methods. Some police and legal experts even think they are doing the right thing when they are not. One negative result is that innocent people can be convicted of crimes.
For example, many cases involve mistakes in identification by witnesses. Taryn Simon wrote a book on the Innocence Project. She explained how witnesses can be strongly influenced. Their memories may even change. Simon told the news organization NPR,
"Mistaken identifications are strongly influenced by pictures or other materials that people see. The law trusts a witness memory or the victim's memory. That memory is not exactly correct. All these innocent men show that."
In other cases, police pressure an innocent person to confess to a crime. The person says that he did the crime, even if he did not do it. A person may falsely confess because he believes he has no other choices. Some people falsely confess because they do not understand the law. But these people are still innocent.
Innocent people also go to prison because, in the past, crime scientists did not have the best scientific tools. They used the best tools they could, but they were not always exact. Dennis Fritz's case is an example of this. Fritz was convicted of murder in 1988. At that time, DNA testing was not possible. But a crime scientist looked at hair from the crime under a microscope. He also looked at Fritz's hair. The two hairs were similar. Fritz was sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison. In 1999, the Innocence Project did DNA testing on the two hairs. They proved the hair from the crime did not belong to Dennis Fritz. He was exonerated and is now free.
Fritz, Calvin Johnson, and other exonerated people are now making a new life out of prison. This can be very difficult. Their problems do not end when they leave prison. Instead, there are new problems: finding a job, finding a place to live, making relationships again with friends and family. Helping exonerated people after prison is one of the difficulties the Innocence Project addresses.
The Innocence Project faces other difficulties as well. It is very difficult to collect evidence for a case. Biological materials can easily be lost or destroyed. Some of the cases happened too many years ago. Crime scientists can no longer use the materials. And the criminal justice system is very complex. Working with prisons and the law can take a long time.
But the Innocence Project continues its work. They know that they are making a difference. Hui Dao works for the Innocence Project. He told NPR that they will not give up. He expresses the hope that the Innocence Project has for the future.
What encourages us is that these few cases where innocence has been proven can change the entire system. It can prevent the need for us. Actually, it is curious that our jobs are, in the end, to make sure that the Innocence Project is not necessary. I do not think we are quite there yet, but that is the way we would like to take.
The writer and producer of this program was Rena Dam. The voices you heard were from the United States and the United Kingdom. All quotes were adapted for this program and voiced by Spotlight. You can listen to this program again and read it on the internet at www.radioenglish.net. This program is called The Innocence Project.
You can also leave your comments on our website, or you can email us at radio@radioenglish.net. And you can find us on Facebook. Just search for Spotlight Radio. We hope you can join us again for the next Spotlight program. Goodbye.